And now the latest word is it could even be close to a 5.
Yeah, we've got some new information. The hurricane hunters are in this thing flying around right now, and they have really found that this storm has really deepened or strengthened. When we talked about this the other day, we were mentioning how the pressure, when it starts to fall, usually the winds correlate after that. So down the line, the winds come up. So we saw the pressure fall earlier today, and now we've got the wind readings that are showing that this thing is now strengthened since earlier today.
Wow, that's very scary, because at first people thought this was, you know, any hurricane is scary, of course, but nobody thought it was going to blow up like this.
Yes. And the thing about this is it's moving into almost perfect conditions to continue to strengthen and nothing really to mess it up. So that's the other concern out there as well. So let me show you the latest information that we have right now as of the 10 o'clock advisory, which just came out. And look at this. Earlier today, the winds were at 85 miles per hour. Well, now we've got sustained winds at 105 miles per hour. We're seeing winds gusting over 125 miles per hour as that pressure has fallen to 977 millibars. And again, the lower that pressure goes, the higher the winds usually correlate with that as well. So let me show you the big picture, and there is our storm Dorian right there spinning into the Atlantic Ocean north of Hispaniola, north of Puerto Rico now, and is now making its way just east of the Bahamas into the Atlantic Ocean, where we have nothing but perfect conditions for this storm to grow. I mentioned the hurricane hunters. They're flying through this system right now live, and we get live recon data that comes in. So what they do is they fly into the storm and they send down these what we call drop zones, or these instruments that measure pressure, wind, and different things in the storm as it goes from the top part of the storm all the way down to the ocean floor. And so what's happening is we're getting readings every couple of seconds from this, and we had this latest report showing winds gusting well over hurricane force. Now, earlier today, and really the past couple of days, Dorian has been sitting in this area of wind shear, and that's winds that are coming in, ripping apart or ripping off the top of the thunderstorms as they try to grow. So that kind of keeps the system in check. It doesn't allow it to get any stronger. The problem now, look at this. Dorian is moving into an area where there's little wind shear showing up across the region. And not only that, we've got some very warm waters that it's also moving in. This is basically bath water. And I'll tell you what, tropical systems, the number one thing they love is warm water. And so when you get water temperatures in the 80s, close to 90, it's just perfect fuel. It's just like if you like to go and get a big steak and potato, it's the same type of fuel that really feeds these storms, and they grow and they get stronger. So that's what's going to happen. It's going to continue to lift off to the north and east over the next day or so as it gets stronger here, but it's going to run into this blocking high pressure. We're entering into football season, right? So when you have a blocker that's blocking for you, they're helping to keep things and force the football player. Same thing with this storm. It's going to force it to go into this direction here, so it's going to have to go west, and that means it's going to head towards the Florida coastline. And right now, the only real spread in the models, but it's a big one, is do we see a little bit of a weakness to allow the system to turn off towards the north and maybe go up the coastline a little bit more? That's what our American computer model is showing. Or do we see this ridge being strong enough to block the system way back to the west-southwest, and it goes across South Florida into the Gulf of Mexico? Most of the guidance has converged on an east coast of Florida landfall, but what happens after that, that's still up for question. So between now and heading into Friday night, notice the storm starts to get stronger, and then Friday night into early Saturday, the storm just puts on brakes as it runs in that high pressure, and watch this, it starts to turn west. And look at this. Not only does it turn west, it slows its forward speed down, so the storm is over this warm bath water, and look how big the storm has grown by the time we get towards Labor Day. Also, remember yesterday, this was looking like a landfall Sunday night into Monday. It's still well off to shore today by Labor Day. So this thing is slowing down, which means it could get even stronger, which is why they've upped that potential of this possibly making landfall now as a Cat 4 borderline Cat 5. We'll keep you updated as new information continues to arrive. Our current radar picture, fairly quiet across the area, but a couple of spotty showers showing up between Iowa City and Mount Pleasant, right around Washington, but this won't amount to much. We've got a cold front diving south, and that's bringing in cooler, more refreshing air. So tonight, look at this. We are headed down into the 50s again, and highs on your Friday with a mix of sun and clouds, only in the low to mid 70s. It is going to be a pleasant time for us. And for football Friday evening, how about your highlight zone forecast? Temperatures near 70 degrees at kickoff, so quite nice, but will be falling into the 60s during the game. The only other problem Saturday, this system moves by, so clouds and showers will be likely on your Saturday, and that may help to keep temperatures down into the 60s. And hopefully we can at least hit 70 degrees, but if not, we will rebound as we get into your Sunday and Labor Day with highs back in the upper 70s to lower 80s across the area.